if I didn't do everything in front of them, if I just went off to my office and shut the door and like leave mommy alone because she's working, like they wouldn't see that and have that opportunity. Hey, welcome to Smart AF. I'm your host, Torie Mathis. We have got a great show for you today, so let's get started. So a topic that is brought up a lot with entrepreneurs is this balance of home and work life. It's always kind of a hot topic. I have been working from my laptop for the last 13,
going on
14 years. And so I definitely have a lot of experience in that. Sean has done quite a bit of the laptop working as well. I was reading Atomic Habits. You just got finished with it as well. And something that struck me in there is that he said you should never work from the kitchen table.
Which only applies to people that should never work from the kitchen table.
Yeah, that's a good point. So his whole thing, right, was that you need to separate and like almost like compartmentalize different parts of your life. So going to sleep, you need to sleep in your bed and not, check emails in bed and not, eat in bed or watch TV in bed. So it needs to be just for sleeping. Then working, you would have just a small space, whatever that is if you don't have a home office, but that is your place to work. So that when you get to that, you like go into that mode almost is what it seemed that he was saying. So that is what you do. And go ahead.
Well, I know I've talked to a bunch of people that are like, oh, you work from home? I couldn't do it. Sure. Those are probably the people that would need that kind of structure because it might be very difficult for them. But you've embraced it. Super easy. I don't know how much experience you had before, but like when I was in corporate, I was out there by myself doing everything that I needed to do anyway. So although I wasn't self-employed and working from home,
you weren't stuck in an office.
I had to be self-motivated to get stuff done still. So it was almost a seamless transition for me to just start working from home with you.
The place that I worked at before I became self-employed was a magazine publishing house, and I actually had to commute like an hour to get there. So I was definitely out of the office. I didn't do any of that at home. But the last 6 to 8 months of doing that job, I think it was about that much time, we actually had to downsize because of the real estate collapse. We did real estate magazines, and I ended up working from home, and then I laid off my one employee, my one other employee from home. And then it was just me there for a while as that company kind of disappeared. So that was kind of my introduction to it. But even when I commuted and did that, I was still, like you said, very self-motivated. And I mean, I was the one in charge. It wasn't like I was an employee. I was, definitely upper management in that kind of sense. So I think that kind of probably helped me slide into it. And in the setup of working at home, we had a house, before we had kids, I did have a home office, and that was where I worked. Like when we lived in California, I always worked from the office. I don't remember ever really working from my laptop. I might not have even worked from a laptop. I may have worked from a desktop even for a while.
I was trying to think, we did have a desktop.
We did have a desktop. So I was kind of I was like stuck at that station, so I was a stationary worker at that time. And then once I got my laptop, I think we've moved a lot, so I have to like mentally go through everywhere we've lived. But I kind of stuck with an office for quite a while. And then once the kids started being out and about more, I think I moved more to be out and about. Like, I don't want to be stuck back. I like being where I can see the front door and the dogs can move in and out. And I don't know, I kind of like that better, to have like that openness of being able to see everything that's going on rather than being shut away, with one window or.
I know for years we had an office, like it was set up for your office, and you just never.
And I would try, but because I have to be creative at work, like I have to be it has to be right. And I don't know if you remember, like there'd be a lot of times where like, I can't work here anymore. And I would rearrange everything and fix everything. And I'm like, okay,
well,
now I can start.
And now more than ever, like we don't have that cliche office filing cabinets and all that kind of stuff that when you first started, like that
Yes.
like you had to have all the clients and folders and all that kind of thing. Right now, the business is the laptop.
True. Everything is digital now. And that you're right. That is a big change because we did have these big filing cabinets and a fax machine and like all this stuff.
For sure, the fax machine.
Yeah. And we had we do have a printer now, but I think like the kids use it for printing stuff out. We really don't use it very often. So it's actually kind of tucked away in things. So there really is no necessity. And I think the fact that the kids are now and have been for many years now full-time in school, that I can be out for many hours without any type of interruption because they're not there to interrupt me.
That was huge when our daughter went to first grade finally and wasn't doing just half the day. That was huge. Seems like forever ago now too.
Yeah. I mean, even having the kids so close together, there was like so many years that because I was at home, I wanted to be at home. Like once I went home and started working from home, like I will never go back to an office. I really can't see myself doing that. I like the flexibility of it. I like that we can travel. And the fact that everything is on the laptop, I can go anywhere and nobody knows. You too. We've been to Punta Cana. We've been to Australia. We've been to California. Like we've been everywhere. We went to Chicago for the weekend, and we don't tell clients that we're going anywhere.
We went on a couple of those cruises, and we worked from there.
Absolutely. So we just keep working. And so I like the less structure because I don't have a problem with motivation or keeping going or getting done what I need to. Like there's never a day that I'm going to go be like, I'm just going to Netflix and chill all day. It doesn't happen. Well, I'm like, I need to do this. I'll get it done now, and then I'll go do what I need to do.
We never did the whole I got to take my vacation week and all that kind of stuff either. Like when you work corporate, like you almost had to force us to take that kind of stuff. So again, it's not like, well, we worked, for X amount of time, we deserve some time off. Like it's just we work when we need to work and don't work when it's not necessary. There's no reason for it really other than just convenience. And I think it's because you actually enjoy what you do. So although it pays the bills, it's not necessarily work.
I was going to say that too, because it's not like it's something I feel I need to escape. Though I do need breaks, and I think that's what, going to the gym is a break. We go to lunch, that's a break. Like there are times that I do take those breaks during time. I don't need to get away from it because I don't hate it. I don't hate Mondays. I don't hate, projects that I have. I try not to take on projects that I don't want or like. Like I try to do things that we want to do.
Well, and a lot of it's like creation. Like it's really like you almost can't wait to get started because there's nothing or it's terrible, and then you touch it and it becomes fantastic or finished.
There is that thing too when you're working on your own stuff, like you with the museum. I mean, that's a different feeling when you're working on stuff that's growing your business.
It has to be because a 1 hour commute one way is freaking brutal. Like it's terrible. But I turned it into a positive of being able to listen to the audiobooks and all that kind of stuff on my ride there and back. And then, once I'm there, like, no, it's not a job. I mean, it's 100% passion. And the people that come in and enjoy that thing that, we created is what makes it all worth it. And then I get to go home an hour later and listen to more audiobooks. So it works out.
Well, and then you get to do most of your work, though, again, from the kitchen table or from your laptop. Like, you don't have to be there.
Well, and this year, like, in one of our older videos, it talked about, like, I only got to work with you for so long, and then this whole museum thing happened, and, I still worked with you, but it pulled me away a lot.
Yeah, 4 or 5 days a week.
And when it was new, I still had a whole lot of time on my hands to work from the computer just there. But as the museum started to get more popular and busier, I had less and less time to do stuff there, and which made it just more challenging all around. Whereas this year, with the museum being in a new location, that I don't have to be there on a daily basis. Like, this has been the first time for this long that I work just like you as much as possible, even though I still take 1 or 2 days a week away. But that one day is a Saturday, but again, it's not like Monday through Friday for us. It's any day of the week we could be working, or any other day of the week we could take the day off.
I kind of like this morning, I got up, I had a couple of client work things that I had to do and a couple of my own things I had to do. And I was able to knock that out with coffee and hang out. Bella was next to me, doing some video stuff as well. And I think that's a really good point too. And we've talked about this before, is that our parents have skills, but didn't share them with us. And so I like working in front of the kids. I like that the kids see that I work really hard and all these things I know how to do. Riley comes home and he's like, "What'd you work on today? What'd you do?" And I'll show him some things. And so they can see what I'm doing. They can see what I can do. I've taught them how to use Photoshop. Like, they both can go in and do all these different things. I've taught them video editing. They both have a YouTube channel. They can edit their own videos, upload their videos, write descriptions, put in if I didn't do everything in front of them, if I just went off to my office and shut the door and leave mommy alone because she's working, they wouldn't see that and have that opportunity. And where, my mom didn't share her painting skills and your dad didn't share all of his building skills, all these skills I have, I want the kids to have them. I want them to be interested in them. And if they don't see me doing this, how would I ever have that interest? How would I give them that interest?
Yeah, our kids have a better understanding what you do than probably all of our family members. Right? That are we know Torie does
design stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, they don't get to see it and then have no record. They don't understand just how much you do and how many different things you can do. Especially when they're like, "Oh, she does design."
Yeah. So the rest of the family doesn't really understand everything. Right. Yeah. Well, and I think if you're not a business owner, and I work pretty exclusively with business owners, that if you're not a business owner, you really wouldn't have any interest in any of the stuff that I do. It's pretty along that whole same route of marketing, and where marketing probably is very interesting to marketers and most business owners, it probably just for regular employee type people, they're probably not interested. So I can understand.
Yeah, they just want their paycheck.
Right. So I like that the kids, they get to learn a little bit about marketing, and I can explain these types of things to them, and hopefully one day they want to work for me. That would be awesome.
Yeah, and it's more than just the actual. They could go off and start whatever business completely away from what it is that we do, but they would have still that understanding of what it takes to operate that business.
Absolutely.
It was Thanksgiving, and I was working in the morning on Thanksgiving, and then I had somebody else that was working on a project that was doing stuff for me. And he's like, don't worry about getting back to me. It's fine because it's Thanksgiving. And he's just getting it on his side. And I always say, I'd like to give the ball back. He was doing that to me. And so I was just giving it back to him. I'm like, no worries. This is one of the glamorous parts of being an entrepreneur is that I work constantly if you focus on the constantly working. Because I could also say that I almost never work. It just depends on the context. I cleaned the house today, and yet I still made various changes for a few different clients and did stuff that now I don't have to wake up Monday morning and go, well, I got to get that done. It wasn't that big of a deal. I had a window of opportunity and was still able to do it. It didn't feel like work. It just...
To me, it almost breaks up the day, that if you can, even on weekends and stuff like that, which if we go out and do something, then I might not work at all. But I like those, being able to be super productive in this little teeny pocket, that if I didn't work from, if my stuff wasn't on the kitchen table, I wouldn't be like, oh, I could do this, that, and get these little things. And some of those things are these big jumps up, big jumps forward in things that we're doing.
Well, so I clean the house, and then when I'm done with that, I could just sit on the couch and turn Netflix on. Or I could leave the TV off and do the couple other things that I am more than capable of doing, and then, that gives us more time to do whatever tomorrow brings. That I know a few things that we're doing, but who knows? If we have more time to do something else, create something else for us, or emails from other clients that I don't know that I have right now, but because I've taken care of stuff I've already gotten, if somebody sends me something fresh tomorrow, they're not put on the back burner because they're front of the line. So I just get it done real quick, and then that makes it everybody's happy at that point.
That's why I like being able to hand you stuff that's that get stuff done. I don't want to sit there and get that little stuff done, and you are just awesome at doing that part of it.
That's what I like.
Give Sean that.
Check the box and get that done, get that done, get that done. I don't want a project that lasts for 2 weeks and I can't tell what I've done and what's left. It's too big for me. That's your wheelhouse.
We work good together, Sean Mathis.
Yeah. That's like this Tesla world record event. It's a huge undertaking. I'm the idea guy. That's my idea. Now you get all these people doing, things, and then every checkbox that I can check off, that's done. But it's a monster of a project. So I'm glad I got you and a few other people that are helping out with that, because if it was just me, I would be struggling.
You know what's funny about the kids though, and even with the Tesla record, they are not impressed. I'm like, we're on TV. They're like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, look at what we're doing. We're doing a world record. They're like, yeah. Like it's their life. They don't care. Yeah. Look, we were on the cover of this magazine. Look at this thing I made. Cool. They don't care. They're not impressed with all of our stuff. It's just normal life for them. I'm like, look, I wrote a book. Look, it's a bestseller. Yeah, they don't care about that either. But I don't know if I told you this. So last weekend, I took Bella to the circus. One of those fancy circuses came to town, and Bella is taking these aerial circus lessons where she's learning trapeze and all this kind of stuff. So I took her to the circus, and she goes in there, and I said, so is this cool? What do you think? Because she hadn't been to one of those where she has seen all the aerial circus people. And I'm like, so would you want to do something like this? She's like, yeah. I'm like, well, would you want to be the person doing it? She's like, yeah, I want to be the person in it, but I would also be the one that owned the circus. Yes, she's going to own the circus too. That's right. So that's cool. They see us doing it, and hopefully it'll rub off on them.
That's that mentality shift. There's no reason that they think that they have to go and just go work for somebody. Can if they want to, but that's not the fallback. They can go try and start all kinds of different things and fail a bunch of times, but it's all about trying and having that right mentality.
I'm glad that we have this opportunity for them, and they can see us be entrepreneurs and do all these things. So I think that wraps it up for this show. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe. Share this with somebody that could use it or would be entertained. And give us a like and a follow, and we'll see you on the next episode. If you want to get smart tools to build your business, go to besmartaf.com.